Bring it back. 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 Bring it back.
This is very hard to explain because it's a complex technology, but
From the And the Groove Remains production team studios in the Netherlands. My name is Mixmaster G and welcome to this live stream. My mission is not to sell as many apps as I can. No, my mission is to educate, teach and help you with track collection management for DJs, and not only management but also the conversion of it, so you save yourself some time for the fun and creative part of being a DJ. As each week, let me quickly introduce myself so the new ones know who I am and where I'm coming from. My name is Mixmaster G. I am a 58-year-old dude from the Netherlands. I had my first DJ residency at the age of 15, which means this is over 40 years of DJ experience in the flesh. I am no longer an active DJ. I call myself a retired DJ. I do a few gigs a year, but nothing even close to what it used to be. However, you may know me from a little app that I wrote, and that app is called the DJ Conversion Utility, allowing you to convert between various DJ software, maintaining your cues, your loops, and all that other stuff. So if you want to try something else, you don't have to redo that all over again. It is not the only app I wrote for DJs. I wrote tons of other apps for DJs, all aimed at making your life as a DJ a little bit easier when it comes to audiophile collection management and conversion. Each Tuesday, 7 o'clock PM Central European Time, that happens to be right now, I host this Ask Me Anything live stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch and Instagram, where you can ask me all kinds of technical questions. If you happen to watch this on Instagram, please go to YouTube or Facebook or Twitch, because I cannot see the comments on Instagram. I can only see them on the other platforms. If you are watching this on an archive, on a rerun, then YouTube is the only place to get those reruns. I remove them from Facebook after the stream, and on Twitch they are removed automatically. Those YouTube reruns also have a time index, which I create the next day. That helps you navigate the topics that we discussed, so you can skip those parts that are not of your interest. And if you like what I'm doing, don't forget to give this video the thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, but most importantly, tell your DJ friends about the availability of this information online each Tuesday, 7 o'clock PM Central European Time, totally for free. I have monetization switched off on all my channels because I hate commercial interrupts myself, but for that reason the videos are a little bit harder to discover on YouTube. So I kindly ask you to give it a thumbs up, comment on it, and do all that kind of fun stuff, so the algorithm knows that we are serious business here, though they cannot make any dime of it because we don't do commercials. Before I move ahead, let me say hi to the people that are already with us. Dodo DJ, let's go. Happy Tuesday, my friend. Hope this is another great week. It was a busy week though, but we will get to that in a moment. 𝗷𝗻𝗄 Sanchez, good evening Mixmaster G. How are you today? I'm doing great, 𝗷𝗻𝗄, but good to have you with us. 𝗁𝗃𝗃, hey Mixmaster G, hope you're keeping well. I am, same for you, I hope so, 𝗁𝗃𝗃. And my good friend 𝗁𝗃𝗃, also joining in from all the way California. Like I say, 𝗁𝗃𝗃, I just happened to contact the NAMM show yesterday because I was wondering, hey, I paid you guys, what will my booth assignment be? And they came back to me and they told me that September the 30th will be the moment that the booths are assigned. And 𝗧 is even joining us all the way from Australia. Good to have you with us, 𝗧. A new name is always good to see. Guys, I don't have a very heavy agenda today. There are not many topics that I have that I need to discuss. So if you got a question, fire away, put your questions in the chat, because as usual at the end of each stream or at the end of my topics I will close the stream, because we are not here to chit chat, we are here to help DJs, right? DJ Matt Official also, hi Mixmaster G, happy Tuesday from the UK, and 𝗷𝗻𝗄 Sanchez is also joining us. Oh, it is really already a big crowd gathering, and I really appreciate each and every one of you hanging out on a Tuesday evening talking DJ nerd shit, right? Okay, like I said, I don't have much on the agenda, but a few topics that I wanted to point out, discuss, etc, etc. The first one is Amsterdam Dance Event. I am an official partner to Amsterdam Dance Event. I forgot to put the logo on the stream today, but I am an official partner, and as such I am part of what is known as the ADE Lab. And the ADE Lab is like a discovery place where you can have hands-on experience with gear, software, etc. And what is special this year about ADE Lab is that we are in a new location. Usual, the ADE Lab was at the Brakkegrond, sorry for my voice, at the Brakkegrond, which is right at the center of Amsterdam. But that location began to get a little bit too small for all the events that they planned around ADE Lab. So they moved that location to a new location a little outside of the center called the Westergasfabriek. The Westergasfabriek is the old gas manufacturing plant. And you can see, if you look at the images of it, that it still has that look and feel. It's very industrial. This is the area where this is one of those old gas containers that is no longer working, but it is now a festival spot, and there will be ADE performances held there. And these buildings right there, this is where the new ADE is kept, and if you want to have a look at it, this is what that looks like. It is very beautiful. I think it was the right move of ADE to go to this new location, but as I said, it is not as central as the brakke grond used to be. So we have to wait and see how that is working out, but I'm very hyped to see how this is coming. Amsterdam Dance Event, and I think that should be at the top of it. No, it's not saying it. It's October 2020 starting. I also heard that my friends from 𝗁𝗏𝗄𝗏 will be there too, but there will be a lot of familiar faces there. So join in if you are around. Don't forget to say hi to me at the 𝗃𝗃. And of course, I will bring my famous vinyl cup coasters for those of you who come around and say hi. So that's about Amsterdam Dance Event. Then I was very busy with rolling out updates, like the update for the Rekordbox collection tool is out, and last week I did give a preview of the new functions, but I made new tutorials for those new functions which are available in my YouTube channel. Of course, I rolled out a new app, Spotify to audio files, which allows you to recreate a Spotify playlist within Rekordbox, Serato, Music or on M3U file using the audio files that you already own. And that is a huge success. I didn't expect it to be this kind of a success because don't forget, the idea for this app started on this Ask Me Anything live stream where somebody asked me, hey 𝐀𝐬𝐤, can you write this app because I am now using subscription software only for this, and it would be nice to kick the subscription out and just pay a one-off price for it. So that was the start of doing this. And I think you have to excuse me for a moment because I am expecting a package. But is this the package that I am expecting is of course the big question. Hold on folks, be back in just a sec.
Bring it back.
False alarm, it looked like the delivery truck, but I don't think it is actually a delivery truck. I'm not entirely sure what those guys are doing in front of my house. But hey, we'll see what's happening there. Like I said, I expect a package, so that's the reason why I was thinking, hey, maybe I have to do some action, but I think we are good for now. Okay, so I had the new tutorials out. I rolled out the Spotify to audio files app, which has now 300 users already. Like I said, I didn't expect it to be this successful this soon. Also because the major news outlets for DJs didn't give it any attention yet. So I'm very happy to see that. Then there are some updates being rolled out, and those updates are for the apps that work together with Mixed in Key. And to be particular, the Rekordbox Q and Key tool, which is my app to bridge mixing key with Rekordbox, and the Traktor Q and Key tool. And I will get into both apps just in a moment, just to show you how that works for those of you who don't know what those two apps are. Those needed to be updated because the 𝗀𝗀𝗀 update that Apple rolled out gave some issues with the previous versions. But this seems to have fixed everything that is out there. Stijn Dekostar is asking, if you use music as an ID3 tag editor, does it sometimes mess up certain fields? For example, does it put unwanted info in the comment fields, etc.? No, Stijn, it doesn't. However, and this is always kind of the problem with ID3 tagging, there are two, or actually three today, but basically two kind of ID3 tags. You have the ID3 version 1 tags and the ID3 version 2 tags. And like I said, you even have the ID3 version 3 tags, which is not very official yet. The problem is that ID3 tags version 1 don't have to contain the same information as ID3 tags version 2. And what iTunes or music does is that the moment you edit one of those tags, let's say you edit artist in music, and there is no comments in the ID3 tags for version 2, but there are comments in the version 1 ID3 tags, then iTunes will think, or music, hey, there are comments in the ID3 version 1 tag, let's take those comments and put them in the version 2 tags. Let me show you how that looks, because I can understand that this is kind of confusing. So let's have a look together, shall we? I should have my test tracks somewhere. There are my test tracks. The easiest way to show you what I mean is using a thing called 𝐀𝐬𝐤. 𝐀𝐬𝐤 is freeware, you can just download it for free, and it's a tag editor. It's a very basic tag editor, and there you see already what I say. Here you've got the version 1 tags, tag ID3, and here you've got the ID3 version 2 tags, and I don't know, yeah, and there you've got the ID3 tags even. So you've got all kinds of different tags, and you see the ID3 tags version 1 are very limited in what they can contain. The title, artist, album, comment, date, track, and genre. That's about it. Now, this track is 𝗵𝗲𝗿𝗶𝗰 by Lola Young, but I can here edit hello also, alos, I don't care. I can edit this tag right here, and that doesn't influence my ID3 tag version 2. And that is exactly the issue. So if I take away the comment right here, then only the comment in the ID3 version 1 tag exists, and the moment I want to change anything, it doesn't matter what you want to change, if the album name or the artist or the date, but something in music, it will notice, oh, there is no comment tag. However, there is one in the ID3 version 1 tag, so I grab that one and I put it in the 2 tag, and the version 2 tags are the tags that are generally used. So that is why it may appear that out of the blue, music kind of creates tags that are not there, but in essence what it's doing, it's copying the information from the ID3 version 1 tag to the ID3 version 2 tag. And if you want to see it in action, then do this kind of stuff with your tracks, do it in music, and you'll see exactly what I use. In general, iTunes/music is a fine tag editor, so is Rekordbox, but you need to know where to look in Rekordbox. But if you really want to edit your tags, nothing beats 𝐀𝐬𝐤, which is very rudimentary but very powerful, or using something like MP3 tag, which is commercial software, but I can highly recommend it because it can link to, for instance, Discogs for artwork, genre, and that kind of stuff. I hope that made a little bit of sense out of all that, Stijn. 𝗪𝗠𝐴, sir, do you know of any apps or software that can look for duplicates in your music collection and are able to spot differences in tracks that have the same title, track length and metadata? I'm thinking there be an AI integrated tool. Yes, 𝗪𝗠𝐴, sir, I've got two of such tools. If you are using iTunes Music, you can use 𝗫𝐶T, and the Rekordbox equivalent of it is called the Rekordbox Collection Tool, which is my total tool for doing everything Rekordbox, kind of the northern utility for Rekordbox. Both have a duplicate finder using audio fingerprinting. They even use the same audio fingerprinting technology, and that means that duplicates will be totally independent from your tagging. And in 𝗫𝐶T you can even include the tagging, but I recommend you to trust the audio fingerprinting. However, and this is important, tracks must have the same length. And especially in 𝗫𝐶T that is important, because 𝗫𝐶T can, for instance, take the grid or the cues and loops from tracks that don't have them and put them on the higher quality tracks. So for those kind of things, it is very important that the track length is the same, otherwise it shifts all over the place. _Star, would you erase all version 1 tags and only keep the version 2 tags? I only need the ID3 tags for Rekordbox. Yes, that is an ID and you can do that within tag edit. Let me go back to Kit. You can do that in Kit, or you can just say from tag 2 like this, and then it will take them over and they will be equal. So I think that's actually what you want to do. So just take everything and say from tag 2 and then save it, and then the tags will be the same in the 1 tag and in the 2 tag. The 1 tag is not used very often, so yes, you can even remove it if you want to, but very old gear like car systems and that kind of stuff sometimes like to have a V1 tag, and for that reason, if it's there, don't bother with it, just leave it the way it is. But yes, you can do indeed either remove it, or like I just showed you, you can quickly take all the ID3 of the ID1 tags and project them, or take them from the 2 tags, and that will help this kind of stuff. Perfect picture. Hello everybody. Hello 𝐸𝐸. Hello perfect picture. Good to have you with us, my friend. So that about tags, and again, yes, this can be mysterious stuff, but it is what it is. Let's head to, and I need a tractor collection for this. Let's start with the Traktor Q and Key tool. By the way, it looks like I fixed my Stream Deck, folks. Also in the past week, I did a complete wipe of this computer, a clean macOS install, and then restore everything from a backup. And that seems to have fixed some issues that I was having, and I was hoping that my Stream Deck fighting me would be amongst them. And indeed, it looks like that is amongst them. So good news for that. Okay, let's take a few tracks and put them in Traktor, and it will ask me to analyze. Let's analyze this stuff. And then the first thing that is important if you use the Traktor Q and Key tool is that the analysis is also running for the beat grids. And if you go to the preferences of Traktor and you go to the analyze options, then you can say only grid markers, and that must be on. You must have grid markers, otherwise TCK doesn't have any anchor points to hang the cues and loops on. Then the next thing that we need to do is, of course, tell Mixed in Key where the tracks are at, accept. Accept. And there we are. And there it is going to ask me all kind of stuff, so I don't care. So let's move it on to. And that is analyzing. Should you, sir? No, it doesn't do slight differences, and that is on purpose because with slight differences come slight changes in the audio data, which means that cues, loops, etc. will shift, and that's not something that you want to do. So it is very strict, and it needs to be very strict to do the best job. The moment you go loose, you run into the issue. Very simple. Let me put very simple. What the audio fingerprinting I use does, it takes the first 2 minutes of a track and creates a unique code out of it, an audio fingerprint. Now, 2 minutes, of course, is not always enough for a track, because most tracks are longer than 2 minutes. And that's why the track length is important too, because the audio fingerprint might be the same, but let's say I'm from the day and age that we had extended versions and 7-inch versions, and those 7-inch versions usually were the extended version in the beginning, and then after the end of the 7-inch, the extended version extended. That's hence the name extended version. And the only difference between those two in the first 2 minutes was, of course, the track length. So That's why the track length is important and why I am very strict about that the audio fingerprint must be identical, because otherwise, especially with big collections, you get too many false positives and that's not something you want. You want to be sure that if something is a duplicate, that it's marked a duplicate, but if it's not a duplicate or if the system is in doubt, please don't make it a duplicate, because it may detect or erase stuff that you don't want to be erased. Okay, that about the duplicates and 𝐥𝐢𝐳 question. Then back to this one. You see this error, that is because Traktor is open. That is on purpose. Now, one of the reasons why you want to use the Traktor Q and Key tool instead of Mixed-in-Key's own Traktor integration is because TCK keeps your own cues and loops. So it doesn't erase those cues and loops, it only adds the Mixed-in-Key cues and loops or cues to a maximum of 8, because that's the maximum of cues in Traktor. So let's start up the Traktor Q and Key tool. Right here. And you can see that this is a new computer because everything is asking me permission, etc, etc. It's a new system. Okay, if you leave this default, then we can just start the conversion and Traktor will open in a moment and I'll show you the results. Then things get a little bit more interesting when using the Rekordbox Q and Key tool, because Mixed-in-Key has kind of a Rekordbox integration, but that requires you to work with Rekordbox XMLs. And since version 5.6.1, including the current version 7.22, Rekordbox has an issue with XML files, imports and exports. And for that reason, it is very important that the Rekordbox Q and Key tool can talk directly to a Rekordbox 6 or 7 collection. And that's why that is so important. Perfect picture. I see your question and I get to that in a moment. Just give me a moment to just finish this and then we get to you. So if I load those tracks up, then you can see the cues right there. And those are the cues set by the Traktor Q and Key tool. And what is also interesting is this, the name of the cue is pointing to the energy level that the cue is going to. So cues in Mixed-in-Key are changes of the energy level within the track. So this goes to energy level 7 and this goes also to energy level 7 and this, I think this is all 7 if I look at this track. But the changes in energy level are reflected in the cue name, and you can even remove these cues. If you don't like them, if you think, no, I don't want those Mixed-in-Key cues, you can very easily remove them as well by using the Traktor Q and Key tool. Let me show that too. Hold on. There we are. Traktor Q and Key tool has a whole lot of more options, but these are the very important ones that I just want to point out. Make sure that your tracks are analyzed for BPM and grid, and then you're good to go to use this. If I say don't use Mixed-in-Key cues and I say start conversion, it will remove those Mixed-in-Key cues from the collection. So let's wait for that to finish. And we are all doing this in real time, as you see. Perfect picture. Using RCD, I get some duplicates that are false duplicates because one is the extended and the next one is an instrumental. I of course just remove them from the duplicates playlist, but they will come back. Is there any way to make sure that those specific tracks be ignored in the future? If those track lengths are the same, no, there is not perfect picture. If indeed if the audio fingerprint seems to be identical for both the instrumental and the normal track, then there is really nothing you can do about that. They should be filtered out on track length, but that is as far as it goes. And as you can see, the mixing key queues are removed, and if you had user set queues, those would remain. So you could change, because the names of the queues is dictating if they are removed or not. If you had changed the name of a queue in Traktor, then that would remain. Let me show that in Rekordbox how it works, and then we will make some queues able to remain. And for that we start up, of course, Rekordbox. And let's fire up the test tracks. Let me give it a clean collection, shall we? So everybody knows that we are working with a clean collection here. Where am I at? There. No, that's not the one I wanted. Go away. This is the one I wanted. And now we have a Rekordbox with an entirely empty collection, just for the demonstration how you use mixing key with Rekordbox using the Rekordbox Q and key tool. That looks better. Let's load in some other tracks. Then let's analyze the tracks. And again, what is important is that you analyze for BPM and grid. I like Rekordbox grid and BPM detection more than mixing keys. And Traktor's BPM and grid detection is the best for static grids that there is. Of course, not as good as 𝐿GRIM-DJ's dynamic beat detection, but that's a whole different story. If it comes to track analysis for BPM and grid, Traktor comes first and Rekordbox and anything else comes second, but they don't come as close to it. Let's wait for the analysis to finish. And there we are, and then let's fire up mixing key. And let's make sure that the tracks are inside mixing key, and you do it like this. This is my analysis queue. Let's wait for that to finish. In the meantime, I can close Rekordbox already because we don't need that at the moment. Doesn't seem to be analyzing, or are you already done with the analysis? Oh, it is already done with the analysis, okay. And then we fire up the Rekordbox Q and key tool. And tell it, you can leave this basically default, and people on the older version will notice that I now made this Rekordbox 6 or 7 direct, because there was some confusion about it said Rekordbox 6, but Rekordbox 6 and 7 share the same database. So because I'm an expert, I know that's the same, but for some it was confusing that 7 was not mentioned. Now it is mentioned. For those of you who want to create the comment field, the comment fields, those are overwritten with this data unless you turn it off. Some DJs had their comments erased by rec because they didn't know this, so that's why I particularly say that if you let rec create your comments, the comments that are there will be erased. And as you can see, I don't need to make an XML file, I don't need to do anything. This is all just straightforward working. And you can already see the purple cues appearing, but rec has its own playlist. By the way, TCK does that too. And in that playlist folder, there will be playlists if there are issues. For instance, if tracks were not analyzed in Rekordbox, or if tracks were not found in the mixing key database. You will find that feedback right there. Here we've got one of the tracks, and let's do it like this, and let's rename this auto cue to keep this, and let's do the same for this one and this. So I renamed 2 cues to keep this and this, and that is in the Told You So track by Martin Garrix. We can give it a little color so we can easily spot that straight on. And now let me show you how you can remove those cues after you have, for instance, checked if you want to keep certain ones and want to get rid of other ones. There we are. Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell the system that we don't want to use mixed in key cues, so nothing will be happened right now, but let's do this again, shall we? And this time, let's do it right. Namely, don't use mixed in key cues, and then run it again, and you will see that the purple mixed in key cues, most of them will be gone, unless those 2 that I renamed, because those will remain in the collection. And of course, if you had set other cues yourself, then those would be there too. So let's go inside here and load the Martin Garrix track, and you can see that the cues are still there, and they are the same. Notice I changed them in the HUD bank, but since Rekordbox Cue and Key tool merges HUD cues and memory cues together and set them identically, the things that I changed in the HUD cue automatically are reflected in the memory cues. I hope that makes things a little bit more clearer about using mixed in key with both Rekordbox and Traktor. Like I said, I updated over the weekend both apps to work on Tahoe, and I thought, hey, maybe it's an idea to just show you what those apps can do. 𝗧 is also in the chat and telling us some stuff. I use mixed in key to audition tracks using the DJ Mix feature, Pro version. When I do find 2 songs and 2 perfect transition points, I can save to a playlist, and I see that deck B song move to deck A, etc. It would be really good if the growing playlist stored the matching transition cue points for each song in, say, in a column next to each stored mix tracking the playlist. Maybe I'm missing something. I don't know, 𝗧. I don't use the Pro feature of mixed in key, to be honest. Mixed in key to me still has the best key detection, and with the best, I not only mean the best quality key detection, but also the most consistent one. And that consistency is important, because if you have one track in different audio formats, the key should still be the same across all those audio formats. And mixed in key is the only software that gives you that. So for that reason, I like mixed in key's consistency for detecting keys. I find the auto cue thing okay-ish. As long as it is very straightforward for on the floor music, it can be used, but I often just erase most of the cues and keep just a few of them because they are useful for me. But as a blueprint, it is useful. But when it comes to the Pro features, I don't have any idea. If I audition new tracks, I do that in Traktor or I do it in Algorithm DJ, but I can also imagine you do it in Rekordbox. I don't see any point to do this in mixed in key. Mixed in key is for me an analysis tool. I dump my tracks in it, I let it do his magic, and then I quit it. I don't even look at playlists in it. I don't do anything in it. So I am the last person to ask what is possible, because I wouldn't know. I don't use it like that. But if it works for you, it works for you. And there is no good or bad in this industry or in this workflow stuff. As long as you are consistent with it and it works for you, then it's a good workflow. Perfect picture, 𝗧. What you want is probably with your workflow either to make playlists in mixed in key or make some of your cue points in mixed and key? Yeah, maybe. To me, why not do that in DJ software that is better equipped to do that, and more importantly, you can store the information in your base DJ software. If, for instance, you are in Rekordbox, you can use the related track feature where you can make 2 tracks a match, and that match will automatically appear the moment you load one track. It will alert you, hey, you made a match with another track. Would you like to load that other track in the other deck? If you don't know what the related tracks are, there is a tutorial in my YouTube channel that explains what related tracks are for both Algorithm DJ and Rekordbox. Other software doesn't support related tracks, and again, related tracks are not auto suggestions or AI suggestions. No, related tracks are defined by you, the DJ, for tracks you know work very well together. And I really recommend checking that out, because once you get a grasp of how related tracks work, it can be such a powerful feature. Perfect Picture, Mixmaster G, I want to congratulate you and myself on the Spotify to Audio Files app. It's a simple genius and has hidden features. Thank you very much, Perfect Picture, appreciate it. Like I said, maybe you were the guy who suggested it back in the stream, I don't know. Somebody in the AMA suggested it because they were paying a subscription, and I thought, hey, why not? I looked into it, I saw there was a lot of demand for it, and that's why I made it. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of what it became. It's a good app, it does what it needs to do, it's pretty straightforward, and indeed has some hidden features as well that are very convenient. Oh, and 𝐁𝐸 is doing it on the fly, setting StAF. Perfect Picture, I use StAF with Rekordbox, but I cannot turn off Open Rekordbox after running StAF. Yeah, that should be, might be a bug, but that should be there. Let's have a quick look together, shall we? Because, let's see. Might be that I left it as a bug, I don't know. But I thought it would automatically enable. So let's see. Like this, like that. And then I want to go to Rekordbox, and here it says start export apps after conversion, so I can turn this off. Ah, I see what you mean. Yeah, you are so right, it will not turn off. And will it now turn off? No, it won't turn off. Funny. No, you are so right, Perfect Picture. So expect that to be fixed tomorrow, because I know exactly where to look at it. It's a very simple fix, but hey, I didn't see that. And the problem with these kind of user interface things is that there are so many exceptions and things that you have to keep in mind, that the simple things, and this is a very simple one, are often overseen. And for that reason, yeah, sorry, I need to fix it. But there are so many other things that I needed to make sure that if you have this option on, then that, for instance, if you only go to an enter-u file, then you should not organize the playlist. But the moment you set this on, then the stuff like that is very confusing, as you might imagine. But that's no excuse. Thank you for pointing that out, and I will make sure that that will work in the next release, because it should. I don't know many people that will actually want not to start the export apps, but I can see why that is convenient, and that's why I did put it in there, so it should work as advertised. That, my friends, also brings me to the end of today's stream. I've spoken about everything that I wanted to speak about. However, if you got a question, then just ask the question in the chat, and I am very happy to answer it. And Perfect Picture, again, thank you for your support. Always great to see a happy user of the apps. And like I said, yeah, I did put a lot more into it than at original thought, especially tweaking the results and the matches and stuff like that. But I think that also distinguishes it from anything else on the market. And I dare to say this is the most powerful app if you want to have a Spotify URL inside your DJ software using your audio files. There's nothing that comes close to the capabilities of StAF right now. Okay peeps, thank you for hanging out with me. I hope we have a stream next week. Like I always said, if I don't have anything to discuss, there will not be a stream. As simple as that. Perfect picture. Is there a place to text you about bugs or feature IDs? I'm afraid of spamming here on stream. I always love to see comments on the streams, but you can always email me, mmg@atgr.nl, or on the Facebook page, 𝐹𝐵𝐸 but it is fine. It's not a matter of spamming here a perfect picture because we are all friends here and I just like feedback. So yeah, you're more than welcome to do it here. 𝗀𝗶𝗿𝗀, you are the best. Have a great weekend, friends. Of course, very fun. Though I really appreciate you hanging out with me each week. Thank you very much. 𝐿𝐵𝗲𝗿𝗻, thanks again, 𝐿𝐵𝗲𝗻. Thank you, 𝐿𝐵𝗲𝗻, for hanging out. Perfect picture. Great week to you too, buddy. And stand by for the update. Tomorrow at this time, you should see an update of StAF where you can indeed switch off the auto start of the application that you are about to use. For now, folks, thank you all for watching. I hope to see you all next week. Don't forget, if you like what I'm doing, share, subscribe, thumbs up under the video and all that kind of good stuff. For now, Mixmaster G signing off.